Good mate, how are you?
Hi guys, my name is Andy Collett from Premier Player Keeper Academy, and today we're lucky enough to be doing an interview with a goalkeeper that I was lucky to work with, England international Burnley goalkeeper Nick Pope. So Nick, welcome, and it's fantastic to see you.
And you?
So obviously we work together. Brief description of why I'm here is you came on loan, didn't you, at York? Yeah, and just quickly, I mean, I was actually looking 4 years ago, that was.
Yeah.
4 years ago, and I mean, for me, it seems like yesterday.
I know, yeah.
We're still recovering some footballs, actually.
A few in the river still, I think, floating along.
Yeah.
So I came on loan in November and played twice, and then the goalie at Charlton, obviously Ben Hamer, got injured, and I was called back. And I was gutted because that was my first one in like the Football League, and I was thinking, oh, what if I don't get back, and what if circumstances change or whatever. So I went back to sit on the bench, and lucky enough, after about 6-8 weeks, he got fit, and then managed to come back in the January.
Yeah, I think, and I mean that was so I've been back to York twice now since then, actually. But we went. I think we went on a fantastic run, actually, didn't you?
Yeah. I think we couldn't buy a win. So in the first spell, we played 2 games. I think we won. We lost the first at Southend, then we drew away at Morecambe. And then the second one, we didn't win for the first 3 or 4 games. And when I signed for York, we think they'd just won 3 in a row. So I started to panic a little bit, thinking, is it something I'm doing? Like, it's not quite going to plan. And then after that, I think we went like 19 unbeaten to get into the playoffs. So just massively turned on its head. Yeah, it did. It was fantastic. We signed you. I remember we signed you. We signed Russ Penn, Keith Lowe. Funny enough, we played against Keith the other day. Yeah, it's Bradford Park Avenue. Oh, yeah. So we still in touch with him. Yeah. Well, you just see the lads that I bumped into Pens a couple of times. Yeah. But yeah, it was a good time, wasn't it? It was a good time at York, and unfortunately, it was the semi-finals, wasn't it? We got beat at Fleetwood. 1-0 over 2 legs, which was disgusting.
Yeah, it was tough. But yeah, seems like 5 minutes ago. So obviously things changed a little bit. Obviously now at Burnley, and you're in this morning early to see us because did you see you've had a scan? Yeah,
I just had a scan on my ankle. Just kind of twisted it awkwardly the other night, but it looks not too bad. So hopefully, I've got a quick turnaround of games. I'll see like it is Christmas and New Year. So a couple of days, hopefully it'll be okay.
Okay, and who's your next game?
Aston Villa at home. We got
right
on the telly, I think 12:30.
Okay. And the game that you got injured was at York, was Man United, wasn't it?
Yeah, Man United at home. Yeah, so lost 2-0. Just when you play top teams, you need to take your chances and not make mistakes. And we made a couple of mistakes and didn't take our chances, and you can't allow that to happen. So we did all right though. Really, we did, like I say, we did create chances, and we put in a decent performance in the second half especially. So something we can take into the next game. Yeah,
fantastic. Okay, so obviously we're gonna have a chat about your early part of your career, your goalie coaches, some quickfire questions from our members, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So your early career.
Yeah.
Did a little bit, obviously, from speaking to you. Just talk us through the early part of your career, sort of your 15s onwards.
15,
really.
yeah. So 16, I got released from Ipswich Academy. Not really good enough, really. Looking back on it now, I just got to a point where I wasn't playing up to the level required. So really best for me and Ipswich at the time really was for me to look for another path. So came out of that, finished my GCSEs, and then went to West Suffolk College to do a diploma in business marketing, and to take part in their football academy there, which was tied into Bury Town, which is at the time the Ryman Premier Division they were in. So it was all tied in, and they had like a reserve team that was tied into a lower league, and played midweek games to the college as well. So it's a big kind of football setup around it, which was obviously a massive part of my decision.
Was that why you chose to go to that college?
That was a big part of it, yeah. I'd been at that school where I was for 8-9 years, so I just felt it was time for a change, having came out of Ipswich after being there for 5-6 years. I just wanted to press the reset button a little bit and meet some new people and have some new experiences. So I just felt that was what I needed to give myself some motivation, I think, and to give myself some a challenge really to go again. So I think that's kind of the decision I made to go to a college where I didn't know anyone and totally new setup. Yeah, and obviously really enjoyed it. Did the marketing for 2 years and enjoyed that course as well. To be honest, something that was different to going to a sixth form, as you like.
Yeah.
And then did a final year of sports science, a diploma as well. So I just did 3 years.
Quite clever, really.
I don't know if my tutors would say that at college. So yeah, that's my 3 years, and in them 3 years, I was playing all the games. Like I said, there's a college team and there's a weekend team. So it's like a Thursday night league as well. So I think I got something like 150 games in 3 years, which was.
Was that men's football?
So that was a mixture. So the weekend was men's, and then obviously the odd midweek game was a men's game as well. But other than that, it would be like an under 18s or an under 19s football as well. So you got a mixture of all of it. But to be 16 and playing men's football was a massive thing. I think that was definitely the polar opposite of coming out of academy football, where very structured and obviously everyone's weak-bodied. Really, you're still boys' bodies and whatever. So to be a goalkeeper to go into them men's leagues was a massive new challenge and a reality of football at that level. So it was a great change for me and something that I definitely needed.
How did you feel when? First of all, how did they tell you, and what were the reasons when they released you? Obviously, I've gone through this as a coach as well. I have to go through this, and it's great when you can offer people contracts.
And at the time, you don't realise it's best for you and it's best for them, but it really is. I wasn't in the right place to continue there. I was behind other people, and
was there anyone there in front of you that's gone on to play?
So my youth team, Connor Wickham was there. So he's at Crystal Palace at the minute.
Connor Wickham, centre forward.
Yeah, centre forward, and Luke Hyam, who's at Southend at the minute. Right. So a couple of professionals came out.
What about goalkeepers?
Goalkeepers, no, I don't think so.
No one's really gone on to.
I can't put my finger on one.
Right. And what was the reason? So what did they say? What was their reasons for?
Just like I said, really, not really, up to the standard and the level that was required, and had a new goalkeeper come in from Norway, and he was obviously thought of better than me. So that was it. When you go into a scholarship, you normally take one goalkeeper as like a 16-year-old first year. So that's kind of the decision taken. So.
What were you like size-wise then? Were you still, obviously you're still growing, you're still developing?
Yeah, not as lanky as I am now, right? Just.
Do you think that played a part?
Yeah, hard to say. Possibly, you'd have to ask them. Obviously, there's so many coaches involved. There's goalie coach, the team coach, and head of academy. They all have their say in making the decisions. And like you say, it's a tough one to give players, and it's a tough decision to make. And if I'd have stayed in, and if they'd have offered me a 2-year scholarship, I don't think I'd have ended up playing at the highest level that I have done. The way I've done it, I think I really needed that kind of setback to springboard me on.
Yeah, so it's actually benefited you really. Which I know at the time you wouldn't have felt that. But
at the time
the right decision.
It's definitely a right decision, and definitely something that I can look back on now and be happy it happened, and I came through it, because it is a tough time when you're that age to get kind of that rejection and that. Kind of being told that you're not good enough for something is hard to take. So to come back from that and to go through the college for 3 years, that was something I really enjoyed. Not only on the pitch, but in the classroom, and then meeting the new people as well. It was perfect, kind of mixture of everything.
Yeah, fantastic. So then from college, you then you went to Charlton. How did that come about?
So I just kind of broke into the very first team in my third year towards the middle to end part of the season, really. And we were going for promotion, and just kind of found out through the grapevine, really, that teams are watching and watching us play, and they're possibly maybe watching me. And it turned out Charlton were well in teams, and they offered me a trial, so I went in for a couple of days, trained with the first team, which was massive, really, because I kind of obviously come out of the academy bubble and the professional game. So to then be able to go back in it after being used to training in the academy setup at the college, to go and see that again was a massive eye opener, and was great. So I managed to go 2 days there and felt like it went really well. And then came back and had still a few games left in the season which they watched, and then after that, I got offered a contract for the following year, 2 years, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, with Ben Roberts.
With Ben Roberts, yeah.
Yeah, with Ben Roberts. Obviously, Ben, good friend of mine, was at Middlesbrough with him. So where were you? So were you taking on Charlton sort of to see how you developed?
Yeah, so it was very much. Well, I'll put this in a polite way. It's kind of like a cheap gamble, I think. You kind of say for them and for Ben. You know, I came in on loan money and they put me up in digs, which was like a massive thing for me. And then I went to university in Roehampton, across London. So that was kind of part of the deal because. Before I went to Charlton, I was already accepted to go to university, so I was kind of accepted that was the path I was going down to go and be a student and forge a career somehow. So that was kind of part of the package that Charlton put together. Although it was kind of, like I say, a cheap gamble really. They kind of seen, I think, a few kind of raw materials that I had and a few raw skills, and kind of thought, why not take a punt kind of thing. They had a spot kind of for me, so. That was it, and I kind of had a plan for me to go on loan, from there on in, and also train with the first team and kind of see how I develop really.
Yeah. Obviously, we'll fast forward a little bit. From my point of view, we needed a goalkeeper in. You speak to a couple of people that you know, and I spoke to Ben, and I always remember. I mean, one of the things he did say to me, he said, "Look, he's very raw, obviously tall, very raw, but for our division." Be good, obviously come for everything, and I remember saying, obviously the first game when you came, do you remember it? And he threw the long throw, and you came literally before I'd let go of his hands and it went flying over you. But I think at that time, like I said, Ben's obviously a good friend of mine, and you trust him, and you did exactly that for us. So you came on a loan and obviously did well. How did you find that loan spell for you? For obviously your personal development, your professional development? Yeah,
but massive thing obviously to move away from home to a new city. Kind of lived in a B&B for 4 months, which but it was right in the city centre, so I was lovely. I was all part of it, and like I say, going to a new dressing room and it was, a new division was a big thing for me. When I signed for Charlton, like a massive ambition of mine was just to play in League Two, because when I was growing up, that was the league that was on telly, that showed the goals on, if you like. So that was kind of a massive ambition of mine, was to play in League Two. To get on telly, yeah. But to be in League Two, really, and obviously that means you'd be a professional as well. So so to be able to get a loan that would accomplish that was kind of the first step, and to go from there, and obviously it was a massive, for me, opportunity to develop my career. If your first loan in the league doesn't go well, you're thinking your next loan is going to be a downward step. Where, if your first loan in the league goes well, you want to be, moving up the league. So I was thinking, kind of, it was a massive opportunity for myself more than anything, and something that I really look forward to. So luckily enough, we had a great squad as well, and people like I say I still speak to today. So it was, that was a massive helping hand for me, and to go on the run we did, and to experience everything that I went through was massive. And something that I really, really for myself couldn't have gone any better, and something that I couldn't have enjoyed anymore. It was
good. I think what you did, which the other lads did as well, you really you stayed up, you lived and breathed your chance that you had, I think, and that went really well. I think there was a couple of other lads again that we brought in that did the same, and you stayed in their bed and breakfast, and I think that worked really well. A good group of players for a young lad to come into. I think they saw what you did for them as well, because you were fantastic for us, major part in why we did well, and exactly what you said, you then got another move to the league above. Obviously went up to Bury.
Bury's the same league actually, but obviously it was kind of not a sleeping giant, but had a massive budget compared to the league. So
compared to us, it was an upward step, wasn't it?
So it's just then just going back to York, it was first time, and when you go to that situation, you just want to make the most of it. Like I say about living up there, the manager was really good for me. He said, if you ever want to go home, or you ever want to, do this or do that, and have a couple of days off. I know you're moving away and stuff, but I just said to him, I've committed for the next 5 months of my life. This is what I want to. This is what I want to do. And I'm more than prepared to do that. So I thought that was a big thing for me. And the gaffer was great, and also yourself as well. Because for a goalkeeper, I think you're building performances, and obviously everything's new to you. And then if you make a mistake, it's something you don't want to overthink. So like something that was really good. I had both you and obviously Nigel Worthington, the gaffer. If something didn't quite go well or something that I should try, you're really open and speaking with me and kind of not nipping it in the bud almost and speaking about it straight away. And it's a new week, we move on to the next game. So that was a massive thing for me. I think found a real help. So that was great. And then obviously on to Bury. We just managed to get over the line this time to promotion. Kind of a similar scenario in the fact that I signed in January to. I think we're just outside the playoffs.
We did try and get you back.
Yeah.
They just wouldn't.
They wouldn't have it.
Yeah, they wouldn't have it.
So I was kind of signed in January to try and get into playoffs or get into the top 3, and fortunately enough we nicked in on the last day. I think Southend lost at Morecambe and we won at Tranmere. So we just got over the line, which was a great experience. Obviously, early in that season, funnily enough, I was number 2 at Charlton, and the goalie got injured. So I think I had 6, 7, 8 games in the Championship maybe. In a struggling team, and it didn't quite go out. It didn't quite go right. So it kind of got to Christmas time, and we kind of thought, rather than staying here and sit on the bench and kind of dwell on last 10 games or whatever I had in the Championship, would be to go out and get more games. So that's where Ben was really good with me as well. And he kind of said, don't let that be your year written off and your season and just sit on the bench and kind of see it out. Go and make something of it and get a new experience. So lucky enough, Bury needed a goalkeeper and I was available. So it was a challenge that I got to take on.
Yeah, so obviously I think I touched base with you a few times after, and when you got into the Charlton team and just discussed about how it was different from our level. Did you notice that? I seen that you went on to play 33 games to Charlton before you got your move to Burnley, but how did you find the difference between the level?
Obviously just quality, I think was higher. I'd say in a weird way you get less touches. A lot of the Championship and the Premier League even more so as well is sideways and like probing, as you like, and short passes rather than more direct football.
Yeah.
And I think obviously in League 2, if there's a free kick anywhere inside your half, it's coming in your box, and something to get used to in every throw-in as well. There's a lot of teams seem to have a long throw in League 2.
Yeah, definitely. It is, yeah.
So just a different challenge, and that way is a big thing. Obviously, you ought to say the balls hit a bit harder as well, and the finishings of a higher quality.
Yeah.
But I think that the biggest thing would be that, you get less touches, but the quality is higher. The through balls might have a bit more finesse. The crosses come in lower than harder, rather than maybe higher and more looped.
Do you think your concentration level has to be?
Yeah, definitely.
High?
Yeah, and I think when I made my debut for Charlton, I came off the bench also on a Saturday, but then I played midweek against Derby at home, and I remember after the game I just shattered from not really having loads of touches, but I just mentally drained from
switch off.
From going through the whole experience and almost over concentrating because I was literally living the game every second. Where I think you're much better switching. Not when it's down the other end, you have a breather and have a drink and just take a moment to yourself. And if you try and concentrate for 90 minutes, you send yourself
I suppose
sideways. I think so. It's nice to think just experiences you learn from going through. So that was one that I definitely learned from that night anyway.
Yeah. So again, said you went on, you played 33 games for Charlton before a move to the Premier League with Burnley.
Yeah.
How did that come about? Obviously, apart from your performances.
Yeah, so kind of January onwards again, it kind of happened really. Kind of a bit of a theme, but Charlton, we were struggling. Manager got sacked. Still struggled for a little bit, and he just put me in, the manager, and away at Brentford it was, and we nicked a 2-1, and I'd done quite well, and kind of kept me in the team for the season. We I know put in some good performances, and the team did, and we picked up some good points, but just not enough to stay up in the end. So luckily enough, I got enough games in to kind of put myself in the shop window, as you like, and. Yeah, Burnley came in for me in the pre-season. Luckily enough, they paid the money and I got to make the move.
Yeah, fantastic move for you. And you made your debut coming on a sub for Tom Heaton. And I actually remember I actually sent you a message. I can't remember. I think I'd seen that you'd played, and I sent you a message saying, "Oh, well done, mate, all the best." And I think you replied back to me, "I've got Liverpool tonight." I think.
Yeah.
And I hadn't realised
it was very much like that. Yeah.
So your full debut was against Liverpool at Liverpool.
At Anfield. Yeah. So we played Palace on a Saturday, and I think it was about half hour. Injury happened, and came on, and we nicked a 1-0. So obviously, unbelievable start, and something you can't expect. I think coming off the bench as a goalkeeper is one of the toughest things you can do. Yeah. So tough. No real warm up or anything. So like you just that kind of adrenaline and mad rush. You get through it, and like I say, we nicked a result, which is great, and then you go home and you think, oh, Liverpool away next week. This is by then it was kind of apparent that Tom's injury was quite bad and was going to be kind of months rather than weeks. So you're kind of thinking you can kind of look forward, the next game then. So it was funny when I was getting texts off people and like when you text me and say, only Liverpool away next week.
That was it, only Liverpool next week.
It's just one of them things, but something why I signed for Burnley and why you play football is to play in them big games. So obviously really nervous on the day and building up to it. I remember we actually didn't go to a hotel the night before. I was just at home. Just at home the night before, like a normal day. Woke up in the morning, had your breakfast, and
you slept all right.
Slept okay. No, actually, look, the most nervous, the most time I think I've been affected before a game would actually be before my York debut at Southend. Which I know it sounds bizarre now, but I always remember it because we were sitting at a pre-match meal about 11 o'clock, half 11 in the morning, and I just couldn't eat. And it's the first time it ever happened, and the only time it's ever happened. And I just found it really weird. I had this plate of food in front of me, and I just remember thinking, I'm not hungry, and I just can't force anything down me. And it's really weird. So never happened since then. So it
happened at York.
Southend away, and it weren't nothing to do with their hotel or anything. It was
probably
I'm sure the food was fine. So
some of the hotels we used to go to were terrible. Not like the standard we used to.
So just had my breakfast, and just kind of saw it as an opportunity, really, knowing that Tom's going to be out a while, and all these big grounds and games I get to play, and what a chance, and I kind of felt myself fortunate rather than being worried about anything. I think I kind of thought, what if you can't play football here, if you don't want to play here, where do you? Go out there and show what you can do. Yeah,
fantastic. And obviously you've gone on. You've done fantastically well. Obviously played many games now. What's it like playing in the Premier League? What's it like for every goalkeeper? Every young goalkeeper, every non-league goalkeeper. I mean, that's obviously the pinnacle. Obviously you played for England as well, but to play in the Premier League.
It's just everything, the best league in the world, the most watched league in the world.
You're excited before you go out?
Definitely. You kind of count yourself lucky every week. That I'm at a Premier League club and playing Premier League football, and like I say, you get to play at all these grounds and against all these great players and against all these big teams. It really is, something I feel fortunate enough to do. So it's something that week in, week out. I think for a team like Burnley, I think there's no easy game. So you're really challenging yourself every week, really, and for a team like us, like probably everyone outside the top six, you want 40 points as soon as, and then kind of build your foundation from there. So it's every season is a challenge, and it is different as well. So it's kind of living week by week. I think that was a big thing when I first got in the team, and I still try and do now, really, is you live week by week, and you just look at the next game rather than thinking, we've got these in 2 weeks' time, we've got a big game in, a big period of 3 weeks of games coming up now. It's very much, next game, try and get 3 points, and then, park that quickly if it don't go well, whatever, and take it into the next game what you can, and, moving with that.
Yeah. Fantastic way to look at it, really, I suppose. Like I said, I remember some big games, a few big games, didn't play many, but your nervous energy in the tunnel, and like you said, you go home and you're so tired, but you're doing it week in, week out. It's fantastic, really. Your mental. Do you think the mental side of playing in the Premier League is as important? Obviously, physically, you've got to be good. You've got to be naturally a fantastic goalkeeper, but the mental side as well. Dealing
massive,
with the pressure of.
The pressure and just the expectation and everything that surrounds it, really. Like, I think when you're when you get to the Premier League, the media's bigger as well. You know, there's the match of the day, and the goals are shown on the telly every 5 minutes. And you know, being a goalkeeper as well, I think the mental side's probably bigger than most positions, I'd say. So you just got to get used to letting in goals. It's not that. It's kind of once you let in one goal on a Saturday, whether it's your fault or not, you've got to play the rest of the game, and you just got to forget about that, and you try and have a good impact on the game from there, really. So that's kind of how I've always seen it, whatever level I've played at. And a big thing for me when I first got in the team, I was very much learning week on week. Premier League being a new level to me. So every week was a learning curve and was a new experience. So it's something that you can take from experiences I've had in the past and other loans and at Charlton and whatever. But you're very much learning on the job.
Yeah, I suppose you are, aren't you? And I think when you came into us, I did say to you, when you're going to make mistakes in games, and then we're going to talk through it on the Monday, and it's not to embarrass you or to. It's just because you're learning, and you never stop learning. Obviously I'm coaching now, but you never stop learning. You'll probably do the same here. Goal goes in, you go through it. Maybe you'll have it clipped down, and you go through it. Yeah,
a big believer of that. Of continual learning and going through different things. Like I say, new season, I've still in my career maybe played 100 odd games, so there's people out there play 500-600, they're still learning. It's very much you want to have an open mind to it all. You don't want to say you're the complete book, and you've made it now, and it's easy, just roll on. It's very much week in, week out, day in, day out. Try and train hard. I've got a good group here where we, goalkeepers, we train hard every day, and the outfield players, the intensity is really high. So something when I was out of the team and before I came into the team was really useful. That I had the mindset that I was training hard every day with my goalkeepers and the goalkeeper union, as you like. And then when you go to the outfield players, they're training 100% as well. So to then transition into the team that was playing, that was something I found really, really helpful.
When you talk about training there, and obviously Tom Heaton's gone now, but how was the dynamic?
Thank God,
Well, he's left the club. He's left the club, shall we say? And obviously, so you've obviously got yourself, Joe Hart, you've got Bailey Peacock now. How was that dynamic of the three? Because obviously, really, I suppose there's 3 England internationals at the time, and obviously Bailey now is an Irish international. How did that dynamic work?
Strange, really, because it's I'm not sure if it ever happened at a club before. Really, we've had 3, like I say, last year 3 international goalkeepers. So as the England ones, so it's just kind of a weird feeling. I came back fit in the kind of January and played in the FA Cup. So from kind of January onwards, it was quite a crowded litter, as you like. But something as a goalkeeper, only one of you plays. You're used to that growing up. I think whether you come through an academy or a youth set up, or only one of you plays and others don't. I've been through like loan spells or being at Charlton or wherever. You're very much used to being in the goalie group and one of you playing, and whether that's you or not, you're responsible for yourself, keeping yourself in good shape and mentally sharp and physically sharp.
You didn't try and
do him knee high, but I think you're responsible to the one that's playing as well. You don't want to be out of order to them. You're respectful. It's the manager's decision, and you want them to do the best they can. So it's very much you're still looking after yourself because you're training hard for yourself. So, and if you get the opportunity to play, then you'll be in the best position to play your best, having them weeks behind you of training well. So even though there was that group of goalkeepers and everyone wanted to be playing, it's very much you're doing best for the team and yourself by giving 100% in training and waiting for your chance.
I think as a coach as well, that's one of the things that you look at, and when you do speak about goalkeepers, it's what they're like as a person, is what they're like when they're not in the team.
Did that nearly kill it for me, did it?
Well, to be fair, you did say you lack personality, but apart from that,
No, but what you like as a person, obviously with us, you were coming into the team. But when you're trying to build a squad, I mean, we have 2 fantastic goalkeepers at York at the moment, and it's what they're going to be like when they're not in the team.
Yeah.
Are they going to be a decent lad?
The Premier League squad, you've got 3/4 fantastic goalkeepers, and I'm sure obviously your coach will look at that. So I'm not sure what either I thought about the others personality-wise, but no, it's interesting because everyone would look at it the same, and only one can play, but it's got to drive you on, I suppose, hasn't it? You've got to try and be as good as you can be, and that'll be, and if you play, you play, and if you don't, you've tried your best, and like you said, you're training with two or three other fantastic goalkeepers, and
it's part of, like you say, the continual learning. Even if you're out the team, it's still you're still training with top players. You've got to take that on and still make yourself better for when the opportunity comes. Really, like it's all about being ready. And then if you're not ready and the opportunity comes, not only are you probably not sharp enough ready, but mentally you're thinking, I've not trained right for the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, of course.
You can think about it that way, and then it affects you without really anything really, and it's all on yourself. So I think it's a big part of it is being mentally strong, especially in and out of the team, whatever you're at, and just continually learning as well.
So obviously you've done amazingly well, and then you got an England call up. I mean, I couldn't believe it.
Must have been short that year.
Yeah, there must have been at least 15 to 16 injuries. But no, obviously you got an England call up, and everyone knows you. Fantastic. What was that again?
Yeah, amazing. So we so lucky enough here at Burnley, we're having an amazing season. Really, we're pushing for Europe and managed to keep quite a few clean sheets. So kind of what's different about being in the Premier League and obviously around the England setup is when things like that are happening, kind of media around it kind of builds up, and the goalkeeper department, and week in, week out, if I was playing well, I kept the clean sheet, and it was getting towards the March internationals, it was, you gotta get called up. Do you think you gotta get called up? You should be getting called up, and different people have different opinions. So that's another mental aspect, you've got to take on board, and another new experience for myself. So that kind of all culminated in it, and we got to the March, and we won 3-0 at West Ham actually, and that was the last game before the internationals, and obviously I didn't know anything, so I was thinking, there's a World Cup summer as well, which is a massive thing. So we got to that phase of the season. I thought, go to this West Ham game, do your best, whatever. It's one game, then you either have a 2-week and you go on holiday, or you go away with England and you have an unbelievable experience. So very much saw it as kind of a win-win kind of thing. And we won 3-0, and I managed to play well. And I think it was a few days later. It was you're in England squad.
And how did they tell you? That
so they leave it to your manager. So luckily enough, it was me and James Tarkowski. Both of us. It was our birth, maiden call up. So we're here on one morning, and the manager called us in, and I had a feeling, obviously, it wasn't going to be getting a telling off. I was hoping. We just won 3-0.
You get the go and see the manager. It's normally, or what have I done?
Yeah, something's not right. So, but obviously got called into the office, and Tarks was already sitting there. So I had an even better feeling then when he was knowing how well he had done in front of me. Yeah. And kind of relayed the information, and said how proud he was and how well you've done, and it's kind of not take it for granted, and to go there and put your mark on it. It's another opportunity for you both. So amazing feeling. And then obviously you run downstairs and you get to tell your family and your friends and whoever, and just surreal.
Were your family, weren't you?
Yeah, on the phone. There's phones nowadays, so that was quite good. Didn't have to drive anywhere or anything, so they're miles away. So it was amazing to be involved with that. And then obviously finished the season. Finished 7th, got into Europe, which for us, over the moon. My first full season in the Premier League, and 35 games, I think 11 clean sheets, and to finish in Europe, it was truly amazing, and something that I could never have foreseen. So an England call up, and obviously after the season finishes, you go on holiday and you're not told anything about the World Cup or the squad and whatever. So I was in the holiday, I think 3 or 4 days, and knowing the squad announcement was coming up, and it was kind of looking for a sports bar in Paphos to kind of wait for it to kind of come on the yellow ticker. And literally in about an hour before it's announced in telly, I found out, and I got a text that I was making it. So it's
text comes through on the
phone.
That's
really? It. Yeah, so it's a really, it's really top secret. It's really that's how top secret is. So still went to the sports bar to check it was real. So that was it. So it's been 3-4 days off the end of the season, and then all on there is all your schedule and when you meet up and stuff. So madness again. Like to kind of end the season in that way, getting called up to make that squad and then to play in a warm-up game for 20 minutes to get that cap is like a massive milestone. I think you kind of see that as something that no one can ever take that away from you. You've got your cap. It's in the post. I've got it at home now. And whatever's said and whatever I accomplish in the rest of my career, like that will always be there. And I think that's the biggest thing about getting your England cap.
Yeah, fantastic. Obviously went to the World Cup. Unbelievable.
Yeah, obviously to go there and to be that group of people and to do what we did, and obviously get so close to getting to a final, I think. But great to be a part of, without obviously playing the games, to see how that setup works and to be part of, in a way, a successful tournament without obviously winning it was a massive thing, really, and something we were away together like 50-60 days, so to be in that environment for that long, if you don't learn anything, then you're not doing something right. So to go there and learn and be around them people for that time was unbelievable. Some life experience.
Who did you room with?
You're on your own.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we madness.
See, international.
York. Yeah.
Not York.
Me and Ryan Jarvis at York it was. Pulled up at this hotel and on the outside I was thinking like, this can't be right. It's this old wooden building. Said like some sort of
like on the in-betweeners.
Yeah, literally could have been faulty towers. But then obviously we walked in the doors and inside was incredibly decked out of high level equipment and whatever. It's just the shell on the outside left you thinking, oh no, we've got a month here. What have we done? So amazing place, an amazing experience.
Fantastic. Right, it's 12:25 now.
That's fine, yeah.
Oh yeah. So the reason we're shaking is because the heating.
Yeah.
We're in an indoor building. The heating is low, so it might be Premier League, but it's freezing. All right. So
I'm glad you mentioned that.
A few quick-fire questions, really, from me. What personal ambitions do you have? I know you're at Burnley, and what would your ambition? Do you still?
So for a short-term target for this season would be play every minute in every game. And to obviously stay in the Premier League. Long-term ambition, play as many years in the Premier League as I can, and to get as many England caps as I can would be something.
And win the Premier League with Burnley.
Leicester done it. Yeah. So there'd be two ambitions of mine, I think. Obviously, played in Europe for 14 minutes before my shoulder dislocation, so it'd be nice to go back in and to give that another go. But obviously happy with kind of how my journey's gone so far, so I want to continue to learn and to kind of keep progressing and see where that takes me, really. Obviously managed to make my England kind of full debut and to get an England shirt with Pope 1 on the back, so that's something that like I say about before.
You can buy them in spots.
I know, yeah. I might buy one for my old man and not give him mine. So something else that no one can ever take away from you, and another surreal experience. So more of the same.
If you had a time machine,
cool.
and you could go back in time, what advice would you give to a young Nick Pope? Especially probably around about the time maybe when you got there.
When I got the boat. Just I'd say I say always work hard at whatever you do and see where that takes you, whether that be your education or your football, which obviously were the two big things in your life when I was 16, I suppose. Don't toss it off, and if you're allowed to say that, but don't Have a good attitude to things, take things the right way, and have a positive mindset towards things. Whether if it's snowing outside and it's blowing a gale, don't think it's a bad day to train. You've still got to go out there and train and give 100%. And that was something that I found with college. Like, we train nearly every day, and I don't think I ever missed a session. Like, I was buzzing to go and train. I think that was a big part of my development, whether it be a game or training. I always wanted to be there. Always wanted to be there and see every day as a day to work hard and train and to learn something as well, and to you kind of hone your skills really.
This week especially been a couple of high profile errors. David De Gea, Jill Leno. How do you and how would you recommend a goalkeeper to respond to a mistake? Because we've all made mistakes.
We have indeed.
Funny enough, I remember at York, and that was one of the real. I loved working with Nigel. Was that I think he made a mistake in a home game.
Accrington,
I can't remember, but I remember him coming in, and I remember, because again, that's when there's points on the line. I would always be the one that say, look, just keep coming. It doesn't matter. You're going to make mistakes. Just keep coming. And I remember Nigel did exactly the same, didn't he? He just took the pressure straight off you.
He did.
And he just said, you've been unbelievable for us. You just keep doing what you're doing. And so, how do you personally respond, or how do you find to deal with it during a game?
Yeah, that was massive. It was Accrington at home. I think we were on for a record, like clean sheets in a row or something ridiculous, and it was the 90th minute, and a corner comes in, and I've gone forward first, and it's gone over my head, and I've gone back, and I can't get there, and it's someone's head in the back post, and we withdrew, and also we were chasing the playoffs as well at that time, so it would have been a big win. I think it was like April time, so it was I think it was the first kind of bad error that had cost us points, I think, and kind of came in on the Monday, and Nigel kind of came up to me and said, make sure you come for the next one, don't you worry about that, and literally kind of astounded me that he'd parked it already, so why couldn't I? He'd very much moved on, and he'd very much encouraged me to come from the next cross and to think about the next performance and the next big thing. So it does help when you've got people right around you like that. I can't say that doesn't make a difference, So that's something that's out of your control as a goalkeeper. Sometimes who's around you, who your manager is, and who your goalie coach is. So, and people do deal with it in different ways. People will watch it 30 times on telly, and people, will never watch it. Do you know what I mean?
If it happens in a game, how would you deal with it? I remember seeing the thing with David De Gea, and he said he would literally put it in a box in his pocket. That's it. I'm not thinking about it. Not De Gea. The goalkeeper for Manchester United, Van der Sar. So he said he would literally put it in his pocket. That's it. I'm not thinking about it again. I'm going to continue on the rest of the game, and I'll get it out the end of the game or the next day.
I ain't got a box, but I will. Literally, park it. I think for myself, in the past, I'd try and affect the game too much after. So if I made a mistake early in the game or at one point in the game, I'd be ultra aggressive into coming for crosses and coming for through balls or making saves or whatever. And because I was more scared of, or I didn't want people to think that I was scared. I didn't want people to think I was
because you'd made a mistake.
Was a poo bag, as you like, if you know what I mean. I didn't want people to think that that's affected him. So I went the other way. Whereas I'd like to think now I'm more level-headed. I had a goalkeeper coach at Charlton, and he'd say, good, bad, or indifferent. You've got to stay along this line of calmness and level of performance and kind of mental thought, and whatever happens during the game, if you save a penalty or if one goes through your legs, you can't veer too far from that. You've got to keep that steady line, because football's got a way of kicking you in, kicking the backside. So don't get too ahead of yourself and don't get too down. I think so. That's a big part of being a goalkeeper in general. So in the game, I think once it's gone, it's gone. You analyse it afterwards and you look through it, and then you kind of park it forever then, and you kind of learn from it and move on. The biggest thing, if you don't learn from it, that's where you're missing out, really.
So learning from it, you're all going to make mistakes, and you've got to go through that. Sometimes I have to watch it, and but so the next time that happens, you'll probably deal with it differently. And as a coach, obviously that's what you want them to do. You want the next time it happens, Yeah, it's amazing. It'll flick into your mind the same situation, and you'll deal with it differently.
I see, like when I was growing up and playing more games and going through more mistakes, like I remember Chris Powell before I signed for York said, he said it afterwards, like, I wanted you to make mistakes.
Yeah.
And wanted you to learn and come through the other side, and that's all
You
part
made
of
lots.
learning. Yeah. I know.
Jeez, Chris, thanks for that.
It's his fault, yeah, he told me.
You send
He
keepers
told
out
me.
on loan to go and
Yeah.
make some mistakes, and experience the
And
environment.
then, and
Get better.
almost experience embarrassment and
Yeah.
want that, the world to swallow you up and all them bad experiences and kind of take that into the next one. So when you do, make a bad error or an error in another game, you've got that behind you of where you have reset yourself and you've made a good performance, kind of that onwards.
Yeah, after the mistake, it's how you respond. All right, so some quick fire questions. We'll have a few from a couple of our members at Premier Play.
Yeah.
So Lucas Mosley said, who was your idol growing up and who do you think is the best keeper in the world right now?
So I was an Ipswich Town fan, so Richard Wright was my goalkeeper at Ipswich. So he was obviously saw us into the Premier League, and he was a top goalkeeper. And the one after that was Kelvin Davis.
Yeah.
So although they weren't, massively in a big club, because I was a season ticket holder, I was watching them every week, and thought the world of them two of being, unbelievable, and they were both,
very
top
good, both
goalkeepers.
top keepers.
So they were two that I got to see a lot of. Other than that, it would be Van der Sar and Schmeichel, Seaman, England goalkeeper at the time. There'd be other ones that I kind of watched out for. Peter Cech as well.
Yeah.
I love watching
What about
him.
now?
So now, I still like De Gea. I've played against him a few times, and he's top goalie, and I get to watch him.
He's made a few mistakes and they're writing him off, but he's unbelievable goalkeeper.
Unbelievable goalkeeper. Edison at City, he's kind of come in and changed the way goalkeeping's done. He's got his own style, which I love to see. So he's someone that I look up to as well.
Right. Okay. Niall Orton Wilson. Who did you support as a kid?
Oh, there you go.
Good. That's the answer, actually.
So my old man got me
Ipswich Town.
Ipswich Town, taking me down there. So I managed to have a season ticket for there for a few years. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Colby Connor. What was it like playing for England? I mean, we've spoke of that. And he's put who would you like to play for? But I don't know if you can answer that, can you?
Yeah, no, probably not. I can England one, everything around it really. The walking out before the game, lining up and singing the national anthem, it's really sends goosebumps down you. So it's something that surreal. It's hard to explain.
Yeah. Morgan Muller-Anderson, how do you keep warm on cold days?
Well, you need to in Burnley, yeah.
And there's a lot of cold days in Burnley.
A lot of cold days, so you can't, I think, kind of come a little bit accustomed to it up here. But it's a good question. Like, you stay on the move when the ball's at the other end. You've got to be ready. You can't.
Just keep running up and down,
it's when your feet feel like ice blocks. That's when you're in trouble, isn't it? So try and stay on your toes and just try and keep moving. I'm not one to wear many layers really. I think just get used to wearing what I do. So stay moving.
Okay, few questions from myself and the coaches. Best keeper you've trained with?
Good
best
question.
keeper you've trained with, the best keeper you've played against?
Good question. Obviously career-wise, Joe Hart, obviously, unbelievable career. Obviously 75 England caps. He played at massive tournaments, played in big Champions League games, and unbelievable goalkeeper. And I remember watching him when I was at Charlton and 19, 18, and considered the best in Europe. Some of the performances that he put in Champions League, unbelievable. So I have to say Joe for that one. The best one I played against, I like De Gea. I like Courtois as well.
Yeah.
Courtois, he's
similar
a top
to you, I suppose,
goalkeeper.
physically.
Long.
Long, tall.
So they're two I like.
Yeah, fantastic. Best player you've played against?
I used to say Coutinho for this question, because I remember the week before we played against him, or the years before when he was a top player, I used to think, he's all right. Yeah, he looks like he's doing okay. And then I played against him for my full debut, and I thought, oh my God, Like, who's this guy? And like, there can't be anyone better than him, because he was on that day. He was the smallest player on the pitch, and he made everyone play to his tune basically. So he was unbelievable. Aguero's top player, De Bruyne.
Just pop up from nowhere and just bang goal.
Yeah.
You can't switch off with those lads, can you?
Yeah, you can't. No, as a team, not as a goalkeeper. If you switch off and you give them half a yard, it's curtains.
Yeah, goal. Yeah. Best ground you played in?
Oh,
apart from Turf Moor?
Yeah.
And both in present?
I like to say the one's close to me really at Anfield, because of making my full debut there, and it was 1-1 and they were chasing a winner, so the atmosphere was was really good. And I played at Old Trafford on Boxing Day a couple of years ago, and we were 2-0 up, and they got one back in the second half, and the atmosphere when they were chasing the equaliser, the ground was it was rocking, as they had like wave after wave as attack, and we playing defence versus attack basically, and obviously it's a massive stadium anyway, so love playing there, even though we drew that game in the end. And probably Newcastle, St James's, love that ground.
I went to watch you there, great stadium.
Yeah, massive, love that ground,
Yeah, great stadium. Atmosphere's not as good as it was at the moment, but unbelievable stadium, fantastic stadium. Which gloves do you wear? How many pairs a season do you go through? And do you get paid to wear them? You don't have to tell us how much. Yeah.
So I'm very lucky to be sponsored by Sells. And to be honest, if they didn't, I'd still wear them, because they're the best ones I've ever had. So I think for a season, I don't wear a new pair every game. I won't wear a new pair for a game actually. I always make sure I've worn them before.
What's his name? The guy, the goalkeeper from Blackburn, was there for years. The American. On the Goalkeeper Union podcast, Brad
Friedel.
Brad Friedel. He wore a brand new pair of gloves every game, and he only wore them once.
Did he? Yeah.
And he'd give them to the young kids after. So
nice.
Yeah. So Richard Lee was saying, the kids. But,
I just think new gloves. I don't know. I'd like to have my hands in them first, basically. So I've never wore a brand spanking pair for a game. I like to wear them, one or two training sessions beforehand, and then I'll wear them for 3-4 games maybe.
Yeah. And how many pairs a season? So.
Hard to say, but I'd probably
30-40 pairs?
Yeah, 30 I'd say,
Yeah, and do you get paid to wear them?
A little bit, I think.
A little bit you think. A little bit you think. All right, Nick, been fantastic talking to you, obviously.
Thanks for having me.
Great to see you. Fantastic. How important is your goalkeeper coach? Obviously I am a goalkeeper coach.
Yeah.
But how important is the role of a goalkeeper coach to a goalkeeper?
Massive. Whether it be, because it's day in, day out, whatever club I've been at, it's been 45 minutes a day at least with your goalkeeper coach, so it's every day. And it's not only like we're speaking about, the mental side of the game, and speaking about football and speaking about the game, coming for this, cross coming for that, being in this position and that position, and I think the help they can give you is so different from anyone else, because they've been through it all. Being a goalkeeper, and obviously being a goalkeeper coach, and goalkeepers just see the games differently. The amount of times you come off a pitch and people might say to you, you didn't have a save to make today, but then you've still had 30-40 touches and probably more than anyone else on the pitch. It's funny how that kind of works, and kind of goalkeeper coach is your main point of contact, I think, to speak to, whether it be about something that you've seen or they've seen. The discussions you can have can help you learn so much, and like I say, the day in day out training and to keep your mind stimulated, I think is a massive job, and probably the hardest is a hard part of goalkeeper coaching is to
the mental side of it.
and to keep obviously new drills and keep people motivated and stimulated.
Don't do new drills. You still like to get beat and you need balls?
I knew that was going to come up. I knew that was going to come up.
You didn't expect that lefty, did you?
I was still waiting for you to go to the far side.
No, I think it is though. I think the big thing, especially certainly dealing with young lads, and when you came to me, you were a young lad, is just trying to help you through the situation that you're coming up against, and obviously you keep training fresh and stuff like that, but just trying to take the pressure off you, dealing with situations and like I said, managing the mental side of it. That is so important nowadays, and obviously you're playing at the top level now, it must be even harder, the pressure that you guys are under. But I won't ask you who your best goalkeeper coach is, because obviously that could put you in and off. You can tell me after when the camera's on.
All right.
Last question. Best bit of advice that you would give any young goalkeeper?
I'd say see every game as opportunity, every training session, everything that you do, and be positive when you're playing. You know, whether you make a mistake and the next cross comes in or next through ball, you know, be positive and have a positive mindset and an outlook on it. And I'd say learn from different people, whether it's people you're training with or people you watch on telly. I tried throughout my career, if it's to do with anything to do with goalkeeping, if they do a certain technique or a certain style, I might try it or see what I think of it.
Not trying the Edison side.
No, not all of them.
No.
But you know, you want to pick the best out of people's games and put them into your game, course, really, and build yourself as a goalkeeper. So I say that's a massive thing. You know, nothing's off limits. You know, try in training and you know, try the skills. That's all it is. And
do your best.
Do your best.
You do your best. That's it. Do your best. Try to make yourself better. And I think your outlook on goalkeeping is different a lot. As in, you're very relaxed and you're open and you're positive, which is, you know, as a coach, it's fantastic. Yeah. Nick, it's been brilliant seeing you, brilliant catching up, and I'm sure our members will love watching the.
Fingers crossed.
All right, mate.